So you think you know how to make mashed potatoes? Those things that sort of, you pile up this white mass of something next to your vegan turkey, and then you smother it in gravy, and everybody loves mashed potatoes. Come on, let's be honest. It's comfort food. But mashed potatoes alone oftentimes, unless you put a ton of butter and salt and pepper and some vegan cream in it, just don't have a lot of oomph. So how can we make mashed potatoes delicious in and of themselves? Well, I'm going to show you how. And I swear to God, once you make these creamy, fluffy, garlicky, flavorful mashed potatoes, you'll never go back to just mashing it with that masher and throwing in some butter. So let's get started. Starting out by peeling potatoes. Now you'll notice that these are not russet, these are gold potatoes. Yukon Gold. I love their rich flavor. The biggest hassle in making mashed potatoes is peeling them. You can peel them overnight. You can cut them up if you're in a hurry. Get your kid, get a friend to peel the potatoes, cut them up, and then cover them in water. And they can sit in the refrigerator for a couple of days or at room temperature overnight. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the potatoes in fairly uniform pieces. Okay, let's get them on the stove. Get a good amount of salt in there. Be absorbed by the potatoes while they cook. Now this is going to be surprising. I got a whole lot of garlic here, but the potatoes will be scented with garlic, but they will not be overly garlicky because we're going to cook these until they're nice and tender and mellow, removing all that bitterness in about a cup of soy milk. So I have about a half a cup of peeled garlic cloves. You can add more. It won't be this huge garlicky bomb that's gonna like destroy your dinner or anything like that. It'll just make it perfumed with, is that even a word? Perfumed? I don't know, but profumo is the word for smell in Italian, and somehow that came to my mind. But all right, so we're going to turn this on and we're going to simmer this until the garlic is super, super tender, and then we're going to puree it. Okay, meanwhile, while the potatoes are cooking, while the garlic is simmering, we're going to make our rich cashew cream. So I've got a cup of cashews raw. They're going to go into my blender, and I have about 3 cups of water. Now, I may not use all of this cashew cream in the potatoes, which means that I'll just have some extra for my refrigerator to turn into something else to use as a coffee creamer or to put in, bake with, or put into a soup. So it's going to make a little bit of extra, but I'm going to puree this until it's a beautiful, rich cashew cream that we're going to put into our potatoes. Okay, it's just about a minute, and I have this beautiful, rich, creamy, smooth cashew cream. Oh my God, this is what happens when you don't pay attention. My milk boileth over. Okay, I'm going to turn it way down. I'm going to actually move it to another burner so I can clean that up. Now, you may actually be wondering, why am I not cooking this in the cashew milk? I am using soy milk. You can use a different milk. You could use oat milk, for example. But the reason I'm not using the cashew milk is that it tends to thicken as it cooks. And so it takes longer for the garlic to cook. But at this point, because I spilt some of it, I am going to add a little bit of this. And you'll notice that the viscosity will change slightly, but not too much. Anyway, so we're going to just cook that down. And we do want this to come to a simmer, and then I'm going to actually not cover it. I was just trying to bring this to a simmer. And then, because we want the milk to kind of cook down, we want the bulk of the creaminess to come from the cashew milk. I'm just checking to see whether I can mash the garlic. So some of them, yes, not quite soft enough. I want to cook these until they're super, super soft. So they need a few more minutes. And yes, they boiled over a couple of times. All right, so as you can see, the milk has reduced quite a bit. It's thickened up a little bit. The garlic, if you just kind of press it, it's really soft now. And now I'm going to take this over to my blender, and we're going to puree it with about a cup of the cashew cream that we made earlier. It's going to add a scent of garlic. I mean, maybe more than a scent of garlic. It's going to add all the wonderful garlic quality without any of that bitterness, that harshness that too much garlic can sometimes have. The milk has softened the garlic flavor, just extracting the best of garlic. So that is ready to blend. I'm going to add it to my blender. Okay, you want to make sure there's no chunks of garlic, that it's completely creamy and smooth. I'm going to finely mince this beautiful bunch of chives. Now you don't have to add chives. It adds a pop of lovely green color and some flavor, but the mashed potatoes are beautiful. They're tasty, delicious, even without. Okay, the potatoes are ready. We're going to drain them, and then we're going to start mashing. Actually, not mashing. We're going to start ricing. Okay, so the trick is not to use your masher. Use a ricer. Get the fluffiest potatoes that way. If you don't have a ricer, use a whisk, but not one of those mashers. So we're going to start ricing the potatoes in here. And this ricer will ensure the fluffiest, creamiest mashed potatoes. Okay, we're going to switch to the whisk now. If you don't have a ricer, you can just mash your potatoes with the whisk instead of a masher, so that you're not concentrating the potatoes into this mash, but you're keeping them light and fluffy. Now we're ready to add the milk. Here's the combination of the garlic that simmered in the milk and some cashew milk, and I'm going to add it to this. Looks like a lot, but it's not actually. It's going to get absorbed. Oh, it's light, it's fluffy, it's creamy. Now we're going to add the chives. That's probably enough. You could add more or less. And now I just have to check for the salt. All right, needs a little. Potatoes absorb a lot of salt, so sometimes you don't even need to add any salt. It's delicious by itself. You don't need to add gravy or anything else because it's got plenty of flavor. So the mashed potatoes are done. You can serve this for your holiday, and then when you have leftovers, you can top it as a main with some chanterelles and some broccolini, which we're now going to do. All right, I've got the broccoli ready. Now I've found these chanterelles, these beautiful chanterelles. They are in season, but you can use oyster mushrooms, shiitake, portobellos, even crimini mushrooms, whatever you can find. I'm going to get rid of the little pine needles. You have to kind of wash these very gently and then just dry them to get rid of these little needles that you don't want to have in your dish. If you've never had a chanterelle, they're delicate. It's the texture. They're silky. It's like putting velvet in your mouth. Absolutely fantastic. If you can't find them, oysters, shiitake, any mushroom will do. Okay, so now we're just going to slice these up, get them ready. And we at Rancho Compasión have started a mushroom garden. So this is the brainchild of one of our staff, Derek Cleary. And so he's got this little mushroom walk, and he's inoculated dead logs and things with various spores. So we have shiitake, oysters. I don't know what else he's got growing down there, but we're going to see. It just got started, so we'll have to wait a couple of months to see what mushrooms pop up there. It's super exciting, though. There's not much in here, but this is the olive oil from our trees. We just harvested that in November and then pressed it, and you can see that it's unfiltered. There's all that unfiltered olive goodness at the bottom there. I'm going to just let this sizzle for a minute. Add the broccolini. Then I'm going to throw in my chanterelles. And we're just going to keep this super simple, just the broccolini and the chanterelles. But it doesn't have to be these two. You could do Swiss chard or kale with oyster mushrooms or shiitake or just regular mushrooms. It could be regular broccoli. Basically any vegetable to go on top of the Mashed potatoes will make a wonderful second meal of leftovers. So your garlic mashed potatoes are ready to serve alongside whatever holiday vegan roast or whatever you're serving. And of course you're gonna have leftovers. So with those leftovers, make yourself another main. Get your mashed potatoes, spread it on a platter, top it with some lovely vegetables, and you have a fast, delicious, and easy entree for the days after your holiday celebration. Well, bon appetit and happy holidays, everybody. What a great combination. Oh wow, that's delicious.